When starting out in Overwatch 2, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Here are 7 tips for beginners that will help you get in the fight instead of getting in the way. Plus, a bonus tip. Pick some favorite characters early on. Experiment with different characters in the practice modes, but settle in on 2 to 4 favorites as soon as possible so you can start learning them better. There are only 3 classes in Overwatch 2, but there are a ton of characters in each class, and they all have vastly different abilities and playstyles. You'll only slow yourself down if you're constantly learning new characters instead of getting to the next level on a select few. Don't fight alone. This game is all about playing as a team, and it'll be especially hard to win solo matchups when you're starting out. And you don't need to worry about flanking too far or going off on your own until you know the maps and the health pack locations much better. For now, stick with your team and play the objective. This also means avoid staggering your attacks. In other words, if you're returning to battle and you see the rest of your team has died, it's better to wait for them to respawn and catch up with you. Your goal should be to always be fighting as a united front. However, when things go south and you're outmatched, then don't be afraid to fall back. Retreating and regrouping is almost always better than respawning. You can usually get back in the fight quicker, and it's easier to keep a team together. Even if you're close to death, your mere presence around a corner may alter an enemy's advance. So step back, find a heal, let your cooldowns reset, and press again. Always fight from cover. Walls, debris, even the payload, whatever you can find to stand behind, do it. Your chances of being hit are reduced significantly, and often your opponent will not follow this tip, making them easy picking. Tanks can create their own cover, and the rest of the team can take advantage of that too. Never stand still. If you're used to other shooters that increase your bullet spread if you shoot while moving, this one might take some time to get used to, but in Overwatch 2 there's no penalty for shooting while moving, and the maps are compact and loaded with sightlines for snipers, so do yourself a favor and keep those feet moving at all times. And speaking of moving your feet, you'll want to crouch to walk quietly. If you're approaching an enemy that's out of sight, you need to know that footsteps in Overwatch 2 are super loud and will give your location away constantly. If you're away from the action or the firing hasn't started, you can crouch to make your footsteps a lot quieter. This is also really useful once you know the maps well enough to strike out on your own and start flanking, which is when you hit the enemy by surprise from the side or the back. That's where tip number 7 comes in. When flanking, don't shoot first. Damaged characters can be super effective by flanking, but be sure to wait until they're already engaged with your teammates before giving away your position. They may not even notice you're the one doing the damage. Otherwise, you'll quickly find yourself outnumbered and outgunned. Now for the bonus tip. Know the difference between the payload and the bot. Just a couple of quick notes about moving the floating payload versus keeping the bot pushing the payload. The floating payload will heal you if you're close enough, but the bot won't. Both can be used for cover, but you definitely want to get the bonus heals as much as possible with the floating payload. Also, the floating payload will move faster with each teammate that is within range, but the bot will always move at the same speed even if only one teammate is in range. Overwatch 2 is super deep, so the best thing to do to avoid getting overwhelmed is to just start small, focus on what you understand, and start expanding from there. And if you've made it this far, there's a good chance you should poke around my channel and see if there's other stuff you like. Hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.